Gather round, friends. It's time for Officials' Tales. Hosted by three retired sports referees that coaches throughout Northern Ohio knew as the Three Blind Mice. They are authors of the book called Officials' Tales. So let's meet the authors and your hosts, Jimmy Borgia, Rick Hall, and Don Nardecchia for today's edition of Officials' Tales. Now here's your host, Rick Hall.
Welcome everybody to tonight's special show about what the heck is going on with basketball today and how the heck are we going to get officials and keep officials. Now, let me have Don join us. Hey, Nardo.
Hi, Rick.
How you doing tonight?
And it's getting chilly down here. I know I'm going to get the tears going with you guys, but it's supposed to be 17 tonight.
Oh yeah.
How long's it been since
minus whatever for a minute? Oh yeah. It's crazy up here, and then we get the snow, rain. Who knows? It's schizophrenic up here. You never know what you're going to get. It's Ohio. It's insanity. But anyway. To start tonight's show, as we wait on Jimmy to join us, I'm not sure what the heck happened to him. We want to throw a shout out to a special friend of ours and a good basketball official, football and a baseball guy, Billy Seitz. Happy birthday, Billy. We're thinking about you. I did get your message today that said you finally got our book through the grapevine of your family. And you started reading it, and hopefully you can join our show tonight and maybe shout out to us and let us know what you think about what's going on in the state of basketball when we get through some of these videos. One real quick Billy Seitz story, which is in the book actually, and we'll make it a Reader's Digest version. We were working Jimmy and I are working Billy's very first three-man game, and that's been a long time ago when three-man was just getting started. And it was a rough and tumble kind of game, very high-packed, two teams that really didn't care much for each other. And that's when we really didn't know, what positions we were supposed to play and or what positions we were supposed to be in and where center really was and what trailhead. And, don't fish in my pond and all that stuff. But Billy had a crucial call down the stretch. And he was trying to figure out if it was a 2 or a 3 that the kid got fouled on. And he came to me and, of course, Jimmy. And then Jimmy didn't know anything. He was under the basket. And I said, I really didn't see it. And we went with the 3. The home team ended up losing the game. And, of course, Billy didn't get vilified. I didn't get vilified, but Jimmy Borgia got vilified. He got stopped on the way out by the fans calling him all kinds of crap on the way out. But anyway, that's a quick story about Billy. Love you, Billy. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you, buddy. And
hey, I got one too here real quick.
Oh, go right ahead.
Yeah, this one's in the book. Jimmy and Bill and I were headed to Mansfield Madison, and they were going to play Mansfield Senior. Good old the city team against the perimeter rim of Mansfield going at it. And
sure.
I found out early in the week that was going to be the WMFD live game of the week. And so when I was driving, I went to pick up Billy first, and I told him, and I said, whatever you do, don't tell Jim. Don't tell Jim. He'd get all excited if we're on TV. So I said, now they're probably going to invite you to the hospitality room where they'll have, some cold cuts and stuff like that. And,
sure.
And the hospitality room, like the game workers from the school there, and usually radio and TV media are in there. So I said, but he's going to ask you to go down there with him, but don't go because you'll see those TV guys and you'll get all flustered. Well, sure enough, once the AD invited us, Jim goes, we going down? I said, not me. These two teams run like gazelles here. I don't want to eat this close to running time. He goes, oh, come on. I said, you think I'm nuts? And Bill's over there, kind of, I hope he doesn't ask me now. And he did. And so they end up going down there. And of course, the rest is history when Jim came back. And one of the funny stories in the book about Jim. And it's all true. It's all true.
It's always true. He says we're lying. Well, we're not lying.
No, we're not lying at all.
But again,
it was on TV.
There you go. Billy, enjoy
Billy, great guy, worked at the baseball, a lot of slow pitch softball in Norwalk in the area. A lot of people know Billy. And he was a very good football, basketball official too. I know he's going on hard times. Hang in there, buddy. You got a lot of people praying for you. And keep on kicking, man.
Yeah, we're thinking about you. So all that being said, now we get to the real articles. What the heck is going on with basketball today? And boy, oh boy, do we have some videos to show you. We're going to go through, I don't know, half a dozen or better. They're short little clips. We're just going to play them back to back. And, we may comment through them, I don't know, but, we'll hold our comments mostly to the end. But boy, oh boy, we need something fixed here and fixed fast. So I'm going to go ahead and get these bad boys started.
Yeah, now I haven't seen these, so my this is going to be fresh for me too.
Oh, absolutely. They're absolutely fun. Just wait and see. Here we go.
Okay, see if you can get that one a little bigger, Rick.
Takes a sudden turn when a scuffle among two 9 and 10-year-olds.
Yeah, that's as big as this one gets. So.
Go over that little box on the bottom right.
To throw a punch.
There we go.
Point. Watch in slow motion as the parent from the Concord team makes physical contact with a player in the orange from the Pittsburgh team.
A lady in a red outfit came and attacked that player in the orange uniform, hit him, grabbed him by his collar or neck, and ragdolled him around and threw him on the ground with her. When she got up, she then assaulted the father and hit him in the chest.
Tony Alvarado's nephew plays for the Pittsburgh squad, representing Good Shepherd Catholic School, who is playing the team in the white jerseys from St. Francis of Assisi School, a game that took place at a nearby charter school in Concord on Sunday. Alvarado and many others are outraged that the woman was only escorted out of the building.
None of us expected her not to be arrested. She was not arrested. She was walked out of the building with the police officers and escorted to her car.
Me and Karina were there, clear as day. She literally came, hit him, swung him around like a rag doll. She got up and struck his dad.
Concord police confirmed to us that the woman here was initially arrested, but later released, citing lack of evidence, saying that video evidence showed that the elements of a crime were not present. The parent who recorded this video chose not to show her face, but described what happened as very sad to see.
She needs to be charged for the things she did, because it's absolutely not right. You don't do that to a 9 or 10-year-old. It's just.
And guess what? It gets worse from here. Here we go. Here's number 2 on tonight's hit list. And I will say this is obviously some kind of AAU deal, because it's definitely not schools, just looking at the colors. But, I mean, wow, what are we doing, guys? What's happening?
Well, now to video you'll only see here on 10 TV. A fight breaks out at a middle school basketball game caught on camera. It happened Monday night at the Circleville and Hamilton boys basketball game.
All day, 10 TV's Richard Solomon has been digging deeper to find out what happened and if any charges were filed with police. He's live in studio tonight with what he's learned. Richard.
Yeah, Yolanda, Andrew, in the video, you can see fans and parents storming the court. The Hamilton Local School District says fighting will not be tolerated.
This cell phone video was taken to catch a big play of the game. However, it caught a fight that escalated with fans and parents spilling onto the court. Hamilton Local Schools confirmed with me the fight happened Monday during the Circleville and Hamilton boys basketball game. In the video given to us from a grandparent of a player who was at the game, you can see a scuffle start between some players. Then a fight breaks out with fans rushing onto the court. In a statement that was sent out to parents, Hamilton Local School says anyone that engages in disruptive or inappropriate behavior could face consequences, including ban from events and school property.
All right, Don, that's the first three. And you can see we have a pattern here. I mean, this is you know, like I said at the beginning of the show, what the heck's going on here? You know, I mean, what's happening? Let's dive in to a couple more here, and then we'll come back for your commentary.
This is the moment Fairfax police say led to two parents being charged with disorderly conduct, a fight outside Marymount Junior High School after a youth league basketball game on January 19th. At least one parent.
Remember, youth league basketball game.
Nearby called 911.
This is an argument between parents and basketball players.
Okay, is it verbal or physical?
Verbal right now. There's some physical.
Officials say it was a game between fourth graders from undefeated Marymount and undefeated West Claremont in the
fourth graders, folks. Fourth graders.
Cincinnati Premier Youth Basketball League, not affiliated with the schools. Asia Peoples, one of the parents charged, told me a West Claremont parent was acting intimidating toward Marymount during the game. She says West Claremont won, and words were exchanged between parents, including her, eventually leading up to this moment when she says she was trying to leave and it turned into a brawl.
How many people are involved?
I don't know.
All right, now I want you to pay close attention. How old do you think these kids are, Don?
Yeah, maybe 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah, maybe 5th, 6th grade. Okay. So here we go. Now pay attention to this one. This one's a good one too. Okay, so the coach argued that the whistle came after the horn. Well, that's irrelevant. What we need to know is if the foul, which is what we obviously had there, happened before the end of the horn sounded and, you know, the clock was at zeros. I saw the foul way before the horn sounded, so.
There's got to be time on the clock then, right? You can't have a foul in 0 seconds.
Okay, the coach argued you can't have a foul with 0 seconds on the clock. Don?
Absolutely you can.
Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can.
It's not the referee's job to anticipate the foul and call it before the zeros come up, because the official's not watching the zeros to come up. He knows if the foul happened. Now, if the ball would have gone in after the clock was on zeros, would he have gotten the basket? Yeah.
Of course he would have.
Yeah. He's in the act of shooting.
Yeah, he was clearly in the act of shooting. We saw that.
Yeah.
I saw the foul. I mean, it was obvious.
Mm-hmm. So they evidently put 0.3 of a second up there.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. If he thought that that's when the foul occurred, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. mean, what kind of example is this guy showing his children?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
What is he saying?
Yeah,
what is he doing?
He's trying to get parents involved, probably, to start yelling. I mean, it just you could have shown that guy the rule book, and he wouldn't be satisfied with the answer.
Absolutely not. Okay, here we go.
Mayfield throws it in to Gibson.
Give it to somebody.
Goes left side. Pull up. 8-footer short. Rebounded by Smith. Oh, hey. Well, he threw an elbow. He deserves it. He threw an elbow. He deserves it. Get him out of here. Get him out.
Now, this is a TV announcer. What
I
is
think
he
this
doing?
this is probably an announcer that is affiliated with the school. I don't think he's a
obviously.
He's got his emotions for a certain team just got to him.
Yeah,
But yeah,
obviously.
beyond that, yeah.
Out of here. Ridiculous. See you later. Go to your car.
Okay, here you go. This is a really good one, Don. Now, this is obviously a girls' game. I'm not sure if it's summer. I'm assuming because the referee's in shorts. So I'm going to assume that. Obviously in Indiana. So here we go. So for whatever reason, the referee just suspended the game. Game is over. I mean, you look at the scores, 34-12. It's the end of the first quarter or first half. So apparently this Baylor team has been such a problem that the ref said, that's all I'm listening to. Now watch this person here coming across the floor. They have no business being there.
Oh, he's got his phone. He's got his phone filming.
Yeah, he has no business being there. Okay, the first mistake is this young man, after the game was called, should never have stayed here. He should have left with his partner.
Absolutely.
Now you got a player coming up. They got another person coming up. I mean, that, my friend, is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I mean, first of all, I mean, there was some mistakes made, and guys should have got the heck off the floor, but come on.
Yeah, by staying, he was asking for trouble.
Yep. Yep, he saw it too. Now, here we go. All right, for those of you who didn't see it, watch right there. Watch under the basket. Boom.
Yep,
Okay,
right on. Boom.
Right
Yep.
here. All right,
Yep.
so the refs are doing the right thing.
Yep.
They're jumping in here, trying to get it stopped, get them separated, and look what happens.
Like a tsunami coming from that end of the court.
Yep. You got fans, you got players.
This is a hotly contested middle school basketball game. Parents pack the stands to watch their sons.
I'm a basketball referee.
Albert Coffin is officiating when a disagreement erupts between players. There's a little pushing and shoving, but this comes at the end of the game.
There were several other players in the vicinity, and I stepped in and said, game's over, game's over.
And that's when one parent, angry about a Coffin call, decided to express his feelings in a very violent way.
A parent of one of the players came running at full speed and hit me in the back. It immediately threw me down face first onto the court.
911.
Hello?
Hey, your phone down, 911. Is everything?
Yes, I called 911. We are in the Stanmore Middle School having a basketball game. and one of the parents attacked the referee. His nose is bleeding.
I mean, that's insanity. And by the way, that was the right call. Did you see that?
Oh, that travel, yeah.
Yeah, check it out. This is absolutely the right call. I mean, this is insanity. I mean, it's true insanity. Here you got a ref punching out a fan because he attacked him. Okay, that's insanity the other way.
A fight broke out at an Indiana basketball
Last
game
one.
between a parent and a referee. Have a look at the video here. This apparently happening
Look at
during an
this.
eighth
This is
grade game
actually on the
in
news.
Fort Wayne.
We did see this
Officials
earlier.
say the parent went up to the ref after his kid's team lost. Players and coaches could be seen trying to separate the two of them.
And the kids are like, what's happening right now? Look at this. Come on, y'all. We can do better.
Watch breaking.
All right. I think we've seen enough of the crazy right now. So what do you think about all this, Don? What's causing all this?
I see a lot of that. I shouldn't say I phrased that wrong. There's a tendency for this stuff to happen later in a season. If it's a high school season, if it's an AAU season, whatever. Frustration before a game, nothing to do with what happens on the court. Frustrated, something on the court makes somebody pop their top. In most of those places, I didn't see much in the way of a supervisor for the event. Lower level games should have somebody in charge of the building. Lower level games,
Right.
Both teams should have a representative from the sponsoring body that is in charge of things there, and they should have spoken to their parents prior to the start of the season. In Ohio, the OHSAA has a parents' meeting that the script for the parent meeting is sent from the high school athletic office to every athletic director. And if you have children involved in a sport, you have to be at that meeting, and it goes through a lot of things that they want to talk about as far as what you do and what kind of behavior is approved and which kind of behavior is going to get you thrown out of the building. All these lower level things, they don't think of that stuff. And you got to know your parents. You know by the second game what you hear from the parents.
Absolutely.
When I coached 5th and 6th grade, let's see what I do. When my son was in 4th grade, I coached the team and I helped with the 5th grade and then coached the 6th grade. And I always told the parents, before our first game, we would have a little parents meeting at the end of our practice when they'll come pick up their kids. And I just told them what was acceptable if your kid is going to be on my team. And it was basically that we cheer and encourage our kids.
Mm-hmm.
We recognize a nice play by the other team. We don't sit there and nag, hag, and try to intimidate the other team. We don't scream at somebody on our team that makes a mistake.
Right.
And I had never had a problem with any of our parents. This is at our rec center ball. I have seen crazy parents at youth league football. And
yeah, we sure have, Don.
Yeah, yeah,
me, brother.
Yeah, well, youth league football, and a lot of times they play on kind of a makeshift field. Now in Norwalk, they had a full-size field marked out, but years ago they played behind the junior high, and that field was like playing on a blacktop.
Yeah, concrete.
And since they have been playing at Whitney Field and behind the high school on that grass field there, at least we have a situation where we started there with both teams being on the side of the field where there are no spectators. And that was a suggestion I made. I said, things are so close. You're going to have parents right behind the coaches hollering, second guessing. Get your kids away from the parents, get their kids away from the other team's parents, put them on the other side of the field, both teams. And they did that for a while, but then it kind of went back to the old way. Norwalk stayed away from everybody on the other team, and they're, we're over there by their parents.
They were like,
but I think that's a big thing too. Junior high, it's a great field to play on, but you don't have the fencing and everything to keep people from spilling out on the field. In basketball, you don't have that luxury of any of that. If this would be happening in a foreign country, they may have a fence up between the front of the bleachers and the edge of the court.
Yeah.
They do that in a lot of countries to keep the fans away from it. It's an ugly thing. And I just don't understand it. If every person thinks that their kid is going to get a D1 scholarship at whatever sport they want to play in, and is going to make money in the pros, I don't know what the number is for every one how many high school football players it takes in this country to make one professional football player out of that. It's astronomical.
It's like 1% of
astronomical
1%.
for a D1 football player.
Yeah.
And it just, it's let the kids learn the game and let the kids have fun.
Yeah, it's like 1% of 1% is what it is.
Yeah,
it's somewhere like that. And and it's not just, it is the parents a lot, but a lot of it is these refs, like we talked about in the pre-show. They put this thing in cruise control, and they're just trying to go through the motions, or they're out there reffing just to get a paycheck. So they treat the game like they're punching a time clock, as long as the boss doesn't bitch, we're good to go. But, if you're not out there, actively communicating with the coaches and the players and not putting up with these dumbass fans, let's be honest, these are dumbass fans. You and I, we've thrown fans out multiple times, and it just happens. You can't listen. You can't let one guy or one woman or whatever it is incite the crowd.
Right. And the sad thing about it is that most of the time, the irate parent, the parent that is the one that's way out of line, just embarrasses the heck out of their kid.
Sure they do.
Because all that kid's teammates are, they may want to stay away from the kid.
Shit, yeah.
I would at that age. That's and again, and you may go into the small towns and find that, and you may go to the big cities and find that kid's parent is already a hero to the team.
Oh yeah,
and that's because the coach isn't worth a crap.
Or my other favorite is when the coach is inciting the crowd.
Sure,
and we know this guy, right, Don? We know him. He's the one that's up barking from day one. Right from the jump. He's the one inciting the crowd, and the crowd feeds off of him, and so does his players. And I guarantee you, a lot of these videos where you see the players attacking other players or attacking refs is because the coach is a worthless piece of crap.
Yeah. At the high school level, in a lot of states, the coaches have to take a class to get certified and have a student activity permit. Besides the principles of coaching and things like that, they also learn first aid and CPR and all those kind of things too. You have to you have to all that. And you have to refresh that every 2 years. And, it's a good thing that the state pushes that.
Sure.
But the thing is, it stops with the high school and the junior high teams. You talk about these summer teams, these off-season teams, the 3rd and 4th graders, 5th and 6th graders. Those coaches don't have to do anything like that. And some of them probably should. They all should have to go some kind of a background check. And here's the thing: it costs somebody for the background check, and so a lot of places will say, well, we're just happy they're coaching. We can't ask them to go pay $25 to get this certification or whatever it might be. And it's a pretty weak thing because they have a team sponsor. And I would think that whoever sponsors a team, if they know that $25 was going to get their coach certified to work with young kids, make sure he doesn't have a record with the police of anything that would be of concern to a parent if they would have known it, things like that. I think that would be a big thing to start. Are you going to get that out of these teams that come from the big cities? Absolutely not.
No.
And lots of times, it goes back a number of years ago when we had the the Cedar Point sponsored tournament here at Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, that in its heyday, we were at like 12 different gyms, and we had the youngest of the young kids over at Margaretta. And I was let on that there was a lot of problems at the end of one of these games because the coaches were not only screaming at the kids, the two coaches almost got in a fist fight right there on the bench. And so I went over there when they were to play their next game. And we had already talked with the how we wanted to handle this. We went a couple of policemen in the gym.
Oh yeah.
While they were playing, and we wanted somebody to let the coaches know that if there's any problem, like there was the day before, they'd be barred from bringing their team. They were from Detroit. They would be barred from bringing their team. As a coach, your name would be on a watch list, and the team would not be allowed back in Ohio to play in any of these. They're not AAU sponsored. They're sponsored by, I think, Ohio Youth Basketball sponsored a lot of these. Hey, the sauce is ready.
The sauce is ready. And he's walking.
Yeah. So we went over and I watched, and those guys behaved. I mean, they were given the ultimatum, and those guys behaved there. But it just, why does it take somebody out of town to tell the coach how to behave?
There he is. Well, now it's like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway.
Something like that. What did I miss?
Well, you missed the videos.
Well,
we're just talking about the state of basketball right now, Jimmy. Basically, what it showed was a lot of parents coming on the floor, kids fighting. It's not good. It's not good. So, and we're talking about situations we had. I saw a game this year where, an 8th grade game where it ended up in a fight, and the parents ended up going out on the floor and attacking the ref. So we've seen that. I've seen it's been bad. I mean, it truly has been bad. And I think it's a culmination, but the problem that the real problem I'm having here is, they bitch at us about like, well, you can't recruit, you can't get enough guys, we can't get enough. Well, you put this film out here about these guys getting attacked, these parents acting like idiots, coaches acting like idiots, players acting like idiots, and they're going, well, I don't know why this guy doesn't want to come and work a game. I don't know why he doesn't want to go through all the rigmarole to get a game or get to keep his license or do anything else. Hey, would you want to do it? What about you, Jim?
Hey, I tell you what, it's like I was talking to somebody today. I said the closest I had was when I did Tiffin Columbia at Bellevue. That year they were 1-2 in the league. Bellevue was in first. And early in the game, I had the big boy from Tiffin Columbia hang on the rim. I teed him up, went to the bench. Coach asked me if it was a hanging on the rim. I said, yeah. He said, I've been trying to tell him to quit doing that. And just before half, Tiffin had stole the ball. I was out front, and I busted my butt to get down there. And about the time I got to the foul line, I turned around so I could see everything coming at me. And the next thing you know, the big guy fakes up. Kid went flying by, and Lyle Faulkner's two sons played for him at that time. The oldest one went by, the youngest one come up from behind. He just kind of little tap on the head, nothing major where I thought was a fight was going to break out. I go to the table, I'm flashing my numbers. All of a sudden I hear my partner's whistle go. And I'm like, okay, what happened behind me? And I turn around, he's signaling a technical foul. Next thing I know, the Tiffin Columbia coach is calling me over and said, Jim, he said, I'm going to lose him for the rest of the night and tomorrow night. And I said, Coach, I didn't see it. Later on, I got the video. I saw it. But after the game was over, prior to that, my partner had called an intentional foul. Tiffin's trying to get the ball back, and when he went to grab the kid from Bellevue, he kind of ducked. As he was ducking, next thing you know, he's got him wrapped around the head. I see him going to the table. Next thing I know, I see his face kind of turn sideways, and he got hit with a coin.
Oh boy!
And he motions for the cop, Bob Barker, come on down. Nobody wanted to give that person up, so he politely went over, pointed here, then he went over this way, pointed there. That whole section out. We held the game up for almost 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And then after all that, guy comes back in, and he's starting to get up in my partner's face, which there was a cop in front of both of us. And next thing I know, the guy's turned his attention to me now. By this time, I've got my whistle wrapped around my fist. I'm thinking, you get by that cop, you're going to be tangling with me. But to make the story a little bit shorter, a couple weeks later, I was supposed to go to Tiffin 2 weeks later, but I had called Mac Morrison, or Jim, what's his name? Took over for Mac Morrison.
Oberlander.
Jim Oberlander. I call him and say, look, I'm supposed to go. I said, I think switch me so we don't have no problem. So he switched me. I go down to Willard, and I walk into the locker room, and Brett Willoughby, rest in peace, is my partner that night. And we talked for a few seconds, and next thing you know, he says, so what'd you think about them two clowns over Bellevue here a couple of weeks ago? And I kind of slowly turned and looked over my shoulder, and I called him SOB. And he starts laughing. I go, pardon me. I said, you knew who had that game 10 minutes before it got over, after it got over. He said, yeah. He said, and the guy that came in, because they put handcuffs on this guy.
Yeah.
He was a football official. And not only that, he was the president of the Athletic Boosters.
Of course,
I don't know.
But it's crazy. I mean, that's just one example. But like I said, here we are. We've seen all those videos. Don's given his explanation. I've given my explanation. We're going to leave it up to the people out there. You tell us. Comment, write us a message. Let us know on Facebook when this gets posted tomorrow. Tell us what you think. What the heck's going on? Because I'm lost for words. I really am. Now, before we go, I do have something very special for Mr. Nardecchia. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys know, but a lot of you don't know. Don is an avid golfer, coach golf. and everything else. Okay, he is like the golf guy. So if any of you guys ever wondered how the heck did golf ever get started, well, here I'll let you know. Here's a guy that's got a very good opinion.
Once I get off the plane in Scotland, I need subtitles. It's very hard. What? That's how they could invent golf. They could have a couple of Guinness, and then the next thing you know, here's my idea for a sport. I knock a ball into a gopher hole. Oh, you mean like pool? No, forget pool. That was a straight stick. A little broken stick. I whack a ball into a gopher hole. Oh, you mean like croquet? Ah, no, not croquet. That's a pussy sport. I put the hole hundreds of yards away. Oh, kind of like a bowling alley. Oh, no way. Away. I put stuff in the way like trees and bushes. So you whack the ball, and you're sitting there whacking away, and you feel like you're going to have a stroke. That's what we'll call it, because every time you hit the ball, you think you're going to die. And right near the end, they'll put a nice flat bit with a tiny flag to give you hope. And they'll put a pool and a sandbox to grab your ball. To do this one time? Oh, no, 18 damn times!
What do you think of that, Don?
That's a pretty cute explanation right there. And only that guy could explain it that way too.
It's crazy, right? Yeah, I saw that the other day and I said, boy, that's Nardo. I got to put this on the show. And actually, that's the cleanest version he has.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's much more colorful language, let's say, in a lot of the ways that he describes it. But you know, I actually feel his pain. No wonder they call it a stroke, for Christ's sakes. But anyway, as we're closing tonight, we want to say, hey, if you can't get enough of us, go out and get our book on Amazon. It's available in hardback, paperback, and electronic ebook. Or if you just can't wait, you can go to the Common Good. And you can get it there.
Downtown Norwalk.
Oh, yeah, right next to Barry's. And by the way, Barry's is getting better and better. You know, they had a little problem staffing a couple weeks ago, and you know their wait time was crazy. But other than that, I mean, they're good people. They try hard, and the Common Good are good people. They've done right by us, and they do right by Norwalk. So that being said, as we're wrapping up here, I'm gonna go Jimmy first. So, what's your idea of what's causing all this? As we close, and you know, don't forget to say, you know, give a shout out to Billy because you didn't get it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Did you do that earlier? Because I hope he's watching. I was hoping that his brother Mike, because I texted him around 2:00 this afternoon or so to maybe get him to get a hold of Billy and get a hold of his mom so that they would be watching this, and hoping that he's feeling better. Happy birthday. I remember been a while since we worked together, but we come back from Margaretta one night. We stopped in at Ping's over there in Monroeville, and we bought him dinner that night. Me and Don did. But yeah, he's something else. Him and his buddy Matt Camp. That was a pair in the early years.
Officials, yeah.
What kind of pair? I have no idea, but.
So now, you said that to Billy. Now, what's causing the state of basketball and these fans? What the hell's going on?
It's like you get a couple of fathers that have possibly thought they have coached somewhere before. They're doing it to, have their kids playing the whole summer, and all of a sudden they get out of hand. They have no idea what some of the rules are. I mean, I go on Facebook and I see some of this stuff, and from time to time I put a comment in and say, hey, pick up a rule book if you think it's so easy. Take the test. Come on out. show us how it's done. I mean, if you're looking at some of the stuff, you have no idea. The other day they were saying that the defensive man was moving. The defensive man can moving. He was moving away from the offensive man, and the guy hit him and he knocked him down. So that's charging.
Sure.
Period. But what these people are looking at, I have no idea. It's just it's getting way out of hand.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can hear a lot of other people that have been around pros, and that the AAU stuff is getting so out of hand that I've seen stuff down at the rec center here in town. I'm thinking, what the heck is going on with these people?
Oh yeah.
And then you get referees coming in there. Hell, I saw a guy standing there talking to somebody on the sideline. What the hell? Pay attention to what you're doing. Then you won't have people yelling at you.
Yep.
I mean, heck, I could get back out there. The condition I'm in, I can do that. I could jog up and down.
Well,
I think I got tomorrow and Monday, and I've done my rehab of 36, and I'm good to go. I'm good to go.
Good work, Jim. Good work.
Good work, Jim.
I'm down on the 230 mark, so I've lost about 35 pounds.
Well, now it's on the mental rehab, right? You're going to see your mental therapist after that.
Mentally, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you get that, now you'll be the total
I see Curly next week.
Do you?
Hey,
Right.
okay, how do you pronounce it?
Yep.
What's coming up next week? Puchkis?
Puchkis.
Potchkis?
Puchkis.
Puchki, yeah, that's
Potchki.
Down here,
Puchkis.
nobody knows. Down here in South Carolina, nobody knows what a puchki is.
You got to be careful where you say that. Some people,
down here,
they take that the wrong way.
They do talk a little different. But it's like a donut, but it weighs about like a shot put.
Especially if you go, boy, I think that girl makes some great poochkies.
Yeah,
you got to be really careful. She's gonna teach you poochki. Nah, that doesn't work out. That's not gonna work. All right, Don. I'm gonna give you the final salvo here as we go.
I'm going to talk to officials about this, and in a couple of those situations, I saw officials not quite doing the proper thing when you made a foul call. One of those very early ones showed a post player from one team and grabbing a rebound. A kid from the other team, who certainly wasn't a post player, wasn't very big, grabbed the ball with him too, and they were tugging. Another kid came in to start tugging, and I don't know if it was a whistle blown or what, but suddenly the big kid, the post player, had the ball, and almost as soon as he got it, he just, while holding it, didn't throw it. While holding it, he just reached out and punched the smaller kid right in the chest while holding the ball. And that kid, he flew backwards and onto his butt. And the official rightly, he called that the instant it happened, but then he started walking towards the scorer's table. And what happened next, he was lucky, the official did, because the big kid went over and he knew he screwed up. He went right over to reach down for the hand of the kid that he knocked down and helped him up. But he could just have easily had gone over, helped him up, and pushed him back down again, because that guy left his area. And whenever you have something like a hard foul like that, you come in and you don't leave until things disperse. Until your partners get there and make sure kids are walking where they need to be. But don't step away from the people involved just because you have to report the foul. The reporting the foul will wait until you get support there so you can leave that area. That's a big one for young officials. And along that line, something I always said is the time you'll get in more trouble as an official is when the clock's not running.
Yeah.
During the game, you do a pretty good job of keeping your eye on stuff, calling fouls, talking to the kids, whatever. But in a game that gets testy and we have a foul call and clock stops, don't stop officiating the players. You don't have to officiate the game at that point. You got to officiate the players. And the way to do that is to, as soon as the whistle blows, observe the area. If you're the second closest person, the third closest person watches the whole area. He's like the area traffic cop. It's when you got three of you, it's easier to do it than if you have two. But in that case, the guy doesn't call it. Just focus on the whole thing. Don't rush into the middle too quick unless you see the real need for it. But approach it where you can keep an eye on who's leaving the area and who's staying there and why.
Absolutely.
And, you can talk to them. Lots of things you can say, okay, guys, we're going to shoot down there. They're going to get just use your voice. Let them know you're there. But don't stop officiating because the clock stops. That's where the problem. Don't take your eyes off if you didn't call the foul. If we're going to shoot at the other end, everybody's walking down there. Keep your eyes on them. Don't walk in front of them all where you can't see them. It's wait for them to start walking, then walk down and keep an eye on everything that's going on. Okay, that's it. Just don't stop officiating during a dead ball.
And for me, and I'm sure I speak for all three of us blind mice, let's do our job while we're out there as officials. Let's put the time in the off seasons and let's read our book. I was just talking to Billy Foltz today, and heck, football season's over, and he said he spent a half hour in the book today. I mean, let's put some time in the book. Let's put some time on the floor.
We're talking about the rule book, not necessarily our book.
Or not the good book.
Yeah, not our. No, yeah.
But
Billy's in that rule.
Billy,
he is a rules genius for the NCAA game.
But understand, guys, you're only as good as you work in the off season. Us three guys, we worked basketball, and Don and I worked football in the off season. We did. We got better.
Do those summer 7-on-7s and
yes, sir.
And
yes,
clinics during the summer.
And now coaches, guys, most of you guys that are coaching, especially lower level, even high school, that's as far as you're going to go. Enjoy the ride. Be a good mentor to these kids. Be an example. I mean, all the good coaches, and I know us three, we can go right down and tell you how many good coaches we've had. And it's not many. And we've worked 117 years in sports together. All right? That's a long time. Now, saying that same thing, parents, all right? Enjoy the ride. Enjoy your kids' play. It's a game. Your kids are not going to be professional athletes. They're not. Your kids are not going to be D1 athletes. They're not playing at the Ohio State University. They're not. Okay, it's 1% of 1%. Okay? In all the years that we've worked, we probably got 10 or 15 guys that's ever made it to the pros, ever. All right? So just keep that in mind. Enjoy your kids' games. Have fun as we're going into the tournaments. Support the kids. Don't scream at the refs. You don't know the rules, and you don't know what they're seeing out there. You have a much better vantage point than they do. Enjoy the game. Okay? Win, lose, or draw. It's a game. Okay? That being said, good night. God bless.
Wait a minute. Hey.